Welcome back to Guitar Theory Modules. This is Module 21 and we're on page 63. We're going to wrap up the section on triads with a quick review of the four types of triads: major, minor, augmented, and diminished. As a quick review, a triad consists of three notes stacked in thirds. We have a root, third, and a fifth. The root is the note the chord is built on. The third is an interval of a third above the root, and the fifth is an interval of a fifth above the root. And also the fifth is an interval of a third above the third of the chord. You studied major triads in Module 12. A major triad consists of a major third on the bottom and a minor third on the top. In other words, the distance from the root to the third of the chord is a major third, and the distance from the third of the chord to the fifth of the chord is a minor third, and the distance from the root to the fifth of the chord is a perfect fifth. You learned about minor triads in Module 15. A minor triad has a minor third on the bottom and a major third on the top. The distance from the root to the third is a minor third. The distance from the third of the chord to the fifth of the chord is a major third, and the distance from the root to the fifth of the chord is a perfect fifth. You learned about augmented triads in Module 17. An augmented triad has two major thirds. The distance from the root to the third of the chord is a major third, and the distance from the third of the chord to the fifth of the chord is also a major third, and the distance from the root to the fifth is an augmented fifth. And you learned about diminished triads in Module 19. A diminished triad has two minor thirds. The distance from the root to the third of the chord is a minor third. The distance from the third of the chord to the fifth of the chord is also a minor third, and the distance from the root to the fifth of the chord is a diminished fifth. You can change a major chord into an augmented chord by raising the fifth of the chord. Here we have a C major chord, C, E, G. We change that to an augmented chord with C, E, G sharp. When you're raising the fifth of a major chord to change it to an augmented chord, if the fifth is a flat note, you change it into a natural note. If the fifth is a natural note, you change it into a sharp note. And if the fifth is already a sharp note, you change it to a double sharp. You can change a minor chord to a diminished chord by lowering the fifth. Here we have a C minor chord, C, E flat, G. We change that to a C diminished chord by changing the G to G flat, and now we have C, E flat, G flat. If you're lowering the fifth of a minor chord to change it to diminished, if that fifth is a sharp note, you change it to a natural note. If that fifth is a natural note, you change it to a flat note. And if that fifth is already a flat note, you change it into a double flat. And the only difference between a major triad and a minor triad is the third of a chord. A major chord has a major third from the root to the third. A minor chord has a minor third from the root to the third. So to change a major chord into a minor chord, you just lower the third of the chord. Or if you want to change minor to major, you raise the third of the chord. Normally I give you some sort of assignment at the end of each module, but this is more for review, so use this module if you need a quick review of any of these types of triads, and then go back to earlier modules if you need a more in-depth review. Don't forget to check out my book, Guitar Theory Modules. You can watch all these videos for free, but if you have a copy of Guitar Theory Modules, you'll have all this information in one place. It's going to be a lot easier to follow along, so I'll leave a link in the description. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Next, I'll see you in Module 22, where I'm going to introduce you to the circle of fifths.